We are fighting back against men saying women can't have
time
hair.
out, guys. Time out. We've done this topic now. Let's move on. Tell us about the time you pooed yourself.
Okay, I'll tell you about it. Okay, so I'll set the scene for you. It was. You know what? I'm gonna get up.
He was only joking. Are you being serious?
I mean this with all disrespect, the reality check show, but I paid £238,000 in tax last year. What the did your podcast do for society? You know what, it's really funny because one of the guys that was there is literally an OnlyFans model, and all they do is drag OnlyFans girls down to absolutely rip them to
people assume that we can't criticize the industry without being misogynistic. And
Do you understand? You're defending a girl.
Boy.
Alright, buckle up, because today we are diving into one of the most chaotic, low vibration podcasts currently infecting the internet, the reality check show. You might have seen clips floating around where women are interrupted, degraded, and put on trial for daring to exist. Today we are unpacking who these guys are, how they treated a guest on their podcast, and how this YouTuber gave them a reality check of their own podcast, which is less about checking and more about stroking fragile egos. This is Filter DK, and this is the 4th episode of Behind the Pixel series. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to the reality check. Today, guys, we need some help from all of you. We have been demonetized on YouTube, so we literally don't earn anything from these videos anymore. We need your support to keep this channel going, so we've got a Patreon, link down below.
Let's start with the basics. The Reality Check Show is a UK-based podcast that brands itself as some red pill, truth teller type platform, when in reality, it's more of a platform for condescending monologues wrapped in flashy lights and cheap podcast microphones. The podcast features 3 regular hosts, Darren McKee, Danny Daniel, yes, that's the actual name of one of the hosts of the podcast, Shuan Mashroof. Together, they have made a name by inviting women, primarily sex workers or content creators from OnlyFans, and then attempting to debate them into submission. If you have seen their TikToks or YouTube shorts, you already know the formula. Bring in a woman, fire off pre-written gotcha questions, interrupt her responses, throw around words like accountability and modern woman, and then sit back like they have dropped wisdom from Mount Olympus. Spoiler alert, they haven't. What makes this worse is how calculated it all feels. The male hosts aren't interested in real dialogue. They are fishing for viral clips. You can literally spot them scanning for the camera while saying things like, "You think men and women are equal in the workplace," or "Name one woman who built a civilization." Not a debate, it's a scripted humiliation session disguised as intellectual discussion. Standing as reality checkers is misleading. If reality had its way, the show would be forced to acknowledge that its hosts contribute to the very problem they claim to be correcting. Shallow analysis to selective morality. Their idea of a check is really just a self-serving echo chamber for frustrated young men who confuse dominance with intelligence. Irony, they often claim to be giving women a voice, but that voice is constantly talked over, edited out, or twisted to fit the narrative they have already decided. The only reality here is the performative masculinity.
Remember, like other countries.
You know what? I'm gonna get off now. You lot are the most disrespectful. like, for people I've ever met.
What? We was only joking.
No, trust me, you lot are getting fucking rich as shit now.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm being deadly serious.
Hey, goodbye.
Let's talk about the episode that really exposed them, where Rebecca Goodwin was the guest of the podcast. For those unfamiliar, Rebecca Goodwin is a popular OnlyFans creator known for her intelligence, independence, and transparency about her journey. Like, I've seen her appearances on other podcasts, and she takes jokes on her very sportingly. Went on the podcast expecting a debate, but what she got was an ambush. Beginning of the episode, the tension was obvious. They kept interrupting her, cornering her with loaded questions like, "Do you think your future son or daughter will be proud of what you do? And would you date a man who respects himself?" Questions they wouldn't dare throw at a male guest with the same venom. Rebecca maintained her composure, trying to explain her reasoning, her business ethics, and her motherhood. The hosts weren't listening, they were waiting to pounce. At one point, you can literally see Danny smirking while Darren cuts her off mid-sentence, and Mashroof chimed in with lines like, "Let's not glorify sex work," while simultaneously riding the views that her presence brought them. Whole hypocrisy, moral policing, while capitalizing off the very people you criticize. So she called them out directly during the episode, saying that they weren't debating her, they were shaming her. The moment she tried to defend herself, the tone changed, accused her of being over emotional and dodging questions, even though she was literally being double teamed by three men who wouldn't let her finish a sentence. Worse, they clipped parts of the interview for TikTok completely out of context to make her look like she was owned. It was the final straw for many viewers who saw the clear manipulation behind the scenes. If the podcast had any integrity, they would have uploaded a full unedited debate and let audiences decide. Of course, integrity isn't the goal, virality is.
Come on, do your worst.
So tell me, why did you decide to change your from brown to pink?
Now, the title of this podcast is The Reality Check, and I think the reason they've done that is because they think it's edgy and cool, and they think that their reality check is just being crude, dismissive, rude, vulgar. The thing is, guys, you three absolute buffoons sat on... if you're watching this, okay, take a leaf from my book.
If y'all do watch YouTube, then y'all must have come across this channel, Katiclyzm, at some point. She is a UK-based YouTuber.
I again would agree. I think it is about having the choice. I would also argue, before people say, but Katie, doesn't this contradict a lot of your beliefs? Because, for example, my beliefs on women doing OF, you could argue, well, feminism is about having the choice. Having a choice doesn't always inherently mean that it is feminist and that it is a good thing. I can completely respect that. But when it comes to...
she released the detailed breakdown video exposing how the hosts treated Rebecca Goodwin, and not just surface level critique. She dissected the editing tricks, the condescending tone, and even the body language. The video went viral and clearly hit a nerve. A few days later, the reality check show did an Instagram live, not to apologize, but to defend themselves. Katiclyzm joined the live, and what happened next was basically a public roast. Calmly questioned why Rebecca was brought on only to be belittled. Why weren't her points acknowledged? Why was she interrupted 47 times in one interview? Instead of listening, the hosts doubled down. Talked over Katiclyzm too, calling her emotional, misinformed, and at one point even accusing her of falling for female manipulation tactics. It was tone deaf and embarrassing. Hosts looked defensive, cornered, and completely unprepared to face someone who could match them intellectually.
I have absolutely zero problem with people coming online to almost voice their opinions on OF and how the industry can be bad.
Again, not to reach, because like I know it's not that deep, but like bro could have at least been listening to me instead of scrolling on his phone when I'm talking, but like go off, I guess, not that deep.
How can be bad. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You can do that. But the way that you did it is completely ineffective. And the problem is with people like you is it makes people who criticize the industry look even worse, because people assume that we can't criticize the industry without being misogynist. And
you understand? You're defending a girl.
Boy. I'm almost done, and then you can
After
speak.
the live ended, Katiclyzm dropped a second video. This time, it featured clips from the Instagram live, and it exposed everything. You would hear the defensiveness, the gaslighting, the ego. Comments on the second video were brutal, with viewers calling out the podcast for being performative, sexist, and disingenuous. And here's the kicker: the reality check show never issued a real apology. They buried the live, went silent on the controversy, and pretended like nothing happened. Typical behavior from a podcast that only likes accountability when it's aimed at women. By the way, shout out to Katiclyzm. I watched her videos and I'm just a fan of her. Shout out to her. Ever noticed how the reality check show almost exclusively invites OnlyFans creators, TikTok models, or Instagram influencers? That's not a coincidence, it's a strategy. They are cherry picking guests they believe they can intellectually outmaneuver. No, I'm not talking about Rebecca Goodwin over here. She's smart, bro. She is. She is very smart. She isn't like these three assholes. Instead of inviting lawyers, activists, or feminist scholars, these three assholes go for creators they assume will be easy to provoke or expose. But here's where it backfires. Women like Rebecca Goodwin show up with more knowledge, wit, and class than the hosts expected. When that happens, the mask slips. These three assholes get visibly irritated when a woman doesn't fall into their delusional modern woman narrative. Let's be real, they aren't interested in feminism. They are interested in dismissing feminism. That's why you'll never see them interview people like Dr. Jessica Taylor or Chimamanda Adichie. Because when the guest actually knows theory, law, and lived experience, the debate ends before it begins. The misogyny isn't subtle either. In the smug chuckles, the dismissive hand gestures, the relaxed babe tones, in the way they constantly bring up high value men and submission while avoiding any talk about abuse, trauma, or systematic inequality. These three assholes don't want strong women. They want easy targets. Let's not forget their fans. The comment sections are crawling with incel energy. I got destroyed. This is what happens when freezer of ours try to debate men. These three assholes fuel that mindset and then hide behind the excuse of just sparking conversation. No, you're feeding a problem, bitch. So, what did we learn today? The reality check show isn't offering reality, it's offering validation wrapped in Fox intellectualism. Their treatment of Rebecca Goodwin was cruel. Their handling of criticism from creators like Katiclyzm was embarrassing, and their guest strategy transparent as hell. Podcasts like this don't exist to inform, they exist to antagonize. They want viral clips, not real conversation. They want women on the show, but only if those women are willing to be humiliated. And when they are called out, they retreat, deflect, and delete. But the internet doesn't forget. And thanks to women like Rebecca Goodwin and creators like Katiclyzm, the fake aid is cracking now. People are starting to ask real questions, and maybe it's finally time that the reality check show gets a reality check of its own. In the next episode of this series, we will talk about the Dubai chocolate scam that came under my radar and needs to be talked. Like target for this video is 10 likes and subscribe to my channel for more content like these. See you in the next episode. Peace out.